Okay, so in the last video we talked about creating a data table, and you can see that on the screen right now. What I want to do this time around, I'm going to show you guys how to put spreadsheet worksheets into your slide, either brand new ones or where we can actually copy an existing worksheet in here as well, and we can also link it. So I'll show you all those different things, and I'll tell you, especially with the linking, that's a great thing because you're putting together your presentation. You've got data coming from a worksheet. At the last minute, some of the numbers change. All you have to do is go and update the numbers in the actual worksheet within Excel, and it will automatically update there in PowerPoint. So really good tool. So let's start out first with just putting in a blank worksheet. How do we go about doing that? So what I'm going to do is I'll stay on this particular slide here, and what we'll do is we'll click on the new slide, and we're going to go with a title only slide. So we're going to do something like that. And now what we'll do is we'll go back over here to the Insert tab, all right, and we'll click on to Table, and down towards the bottom, or actually at the bottom, we have the Excel spreadsheet. So we click on that, and the screen kind of changed a little bit. Now what's happened is this is an actual brand new Excel worksheet right in there. It's actually the file itself. So we've got the spreadsheet and we have a single sheet within it. Notice too that while this is activated, we actually have most of the Excel ribbon and all the different commands. So you can actually put together a worksheet, and you can format it and do all kinds of things with it. And that's how you'd get the thing to look good, is you'd format it within Excel while in this mode here, and kind of go from there. This is a little tricky because right now, the way it is, it's actually activated. So right now, it's actually a worksheet. Now, when I click away from it like this, then it converts into just an object, right? So there it is. A little bit hard to see the grid lines here because of the gray background that we have there, but if I kind of move this over, I'll just show you here. If I move over here, you can actually see the grid lines there. So in any event though, it doesn't look too bad. So you can kind of move it around like that. Now, currently the way it is, it's basically column A and column B, row 1 and row 2. Now you probably would want to have a few more columns and rows, and the way you do that is you point to the object here, we double click it, and it takes us back into the Excel mode. Now, notice over here the little graphic handles, little black graphic handles there. When I point to here, the 3 o'clock one, hold down the mouse and drag it, it kind of notches out. Now watch this, I go boom, okay, there it goes. So that's now adding column C, there's column D, column E. Now if I let go, you can actually see that, see? So I figured that I needed to go maybe out to column, I don't know, go out here to column J, all right? So from A to J, we have still 2 rows. Now what we can do then is we can go down here to the bottom, drag this down, number of rows like that, let go, and now we got about 15 rows. So we're going out from A to J and all the way down to row 15. Now when you click away from it, then it goes back into its regular, just kind of like an object mode here. And what you can do is you can take that. If you want to make it a little bit larger, we can actually just drag it from the corner and proportionally make it larger. And there we go. Then at that point, what you do is you go back in by double clicking it, and you do your thing. So you might set it up and go, okay, I'm going to go over here to A2, type in JAN, enter that in. I'm not going to do much here. I just want to show you some basics here. Then I can copy this down just by dragging it like that down to December. There we are. Let go. All right. Then along the top, I can type in something like, I'll just do like test 1 here. And then I can go back there and drag it, and that'll give me all my sequential numbers there. And then you can put in your regular numbers and so forth. So that's not too bad. And then once you did all that, then you hit OK, just kind of click away from it, and there we go. Pretty easy to do. think what I'll do is I'll make this a little bit more realistic here, and I'm going to copy in some data from a worksheet. So I'll pretend like I had typed this in. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of click right here, right click it, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste in some information. There we go. And I'll go back over in the corner there, kind of select everything, and then I'll just do a double click on the border here, and that'll get everything just right. So there it is. So again, once you put your worksheet together, get your numbers in there, kind of format a little bit like you see here, then all you'd have to do is just kind of click away from it. That pops out there, and then what we can do is we can actually just resize this. Now, as long as we drag it from a corner like this, we'll keep it proportional, and you won't make it look kind of like it's stretched. If you try to do something like this, all right, then it just gets that stretched look. So I'm going to hit undo there and just kind of get away from that. So there it is. Now I can fix it up just a little bit more. You can notice that we've got this right here, and that's because we had that blank column in there. I think it was like column J. So if I double click that, all right, and I'll just go over to here, and I'll bring this in one notch. So now it just goes out to I, see? And I'll also do this. I'll go and bring this up a notch. Oop, too far. Bring it down a notch. There we go. There it is, all right? So we got it all exactly fitting here. See, that's what we did there. Now I click away from it, and there we go. And there you have it. So, and you can take that too, and you can click onto it, hit your right arrow key a few times, and that'll nudge it over there for you. And that's it. Or what you can do, you can actually just bring it back over here and maybe make it a little bit larger. Just make it just enough to kind of fit it just like that. And there you go. So there you have it. So that's about as easy as it gets. And keep in mind too that this worksheet here is actually embedded into the slide. Okay, so there's no link, to any outside source, to some outside Excel spreadsheet file. Even though I just copied some information in there from it, it's not linked. Okay, so it's completely separated, right? So, but then again, the same, it still holds true. I can still go back in and double click something like this, go back and change this number to 9999, right? It'll update the total down there and over there and over there. I click outside of it, and there's the update, and everything's all updated. So it still acts as a worksheet, though it's not connected to any Excel file on the outside. Okay, so now, next thing I want to show you is how to take an existing Microsoft Excel worksheet and copy it into here, okay? Again, it's going to be pretty much like we already have here, but it's just another way of doing things. So what I'm going to do is go back into Home, tell it that I want to do a new slide. Again, I'll do a title only. So there it is. There's our new one. There was the existing or the old one there, and now this is the new one. So now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this file. I'll show you what it is here. It's going to be this worksheet here, okay? So what I'm going to do, in essence, is, I have it open, obviously, in Excel. I go ahead and I select this whole range just like that. I right-click it and hit copy, and you'll get your little ants running around there. Okay, so now, once you've done that, then you go back to your worksheet, or to your slide here. And in this case, all we'd have to do is just do a right-click, right? And then you'll see in here some of your paste options. As you hover over each of these, it kind of gives you an idea of what you've got. So it has on here, use the destination style, so it kind of has the coloring of what this slide has. We have the keep source formatting, which would be what you see there, right? And then you have an embedded one, and you have a picture. Now, if you do the picture, you can't do anything with it. And this is a mess. All right, anyway. So if we go with, let's say, maybe this one right here, okay? You click onto it, and that's it. Now, having brought it in like that, it's pretty much become just a regular table. So you'll still be able to take this and move it around. You'll still be able to go in there And if you wanted to add, right now we've got the table design, the layout, we can go back in there, we can add another column if we wanted to. So I was like right here, and I said, okay, I want to do a new layout here, and I want to insert a column to the left of that. I can click onto that, and it does that for me. So it has all the features, I guess, of a regular table. So that's one thing you can do. So the idea is that if you already have a worksheet put together, there's no reason why you should waste your time just creating a table from scratch and putting all the information in there. All you have to do is just copy and paste an Excel worksheet into there, and it'll turn into a table. So that's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click onto this, hit the delete, all right, and that will basically delete it from there. Now, the other way that we can paste in, so now keep in mind on Excel right now, I still have it with the ants crawling around, so I still have that worksheet in memory. So now what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do a right click over here, and instead of going with the first one or the second one like we did, we're going to go over here to the one here called picture. And this is just like taking a snapshot of it from while it was in Excel and pasting that picture into here. So if I click onto that, all right, now what happens is just that. All right, if I can go ahead, I can resize this if I wanted to, like that. Maybe a little bit more there. And that works out pretty good. Again, if you want to resize it, you'd want to do it from the corner, okay, kind of like that, to keep it all proportional. You can't go in there and make any changes to it, so it's pretty much just a, like I said, just like a snapshot or like a graphic almost. Okay, so that works out pretty nice. I'm going to click onto that though, hit the delete key, and that's it. Now, the third way to do this would be to link it. So that means that we're going to take the data from here, okay, and we're going to link it to our slide here, right? And the beauty of that is later on, if we go back in here and make any changes, it automatically updates in here, okay? So it's pretty slick. Now, how do we go about doing that? Well, I'm going to go back to Excel because I've lost my little ants running around here. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm in here, do a right click and hit copy. Okay, and then I'll move that out of the way there. And then you go back into PowerPoint here under your slide. Now, if I do a right click, all right, I have different paste options, but I don't have anything in here that will allow me to link it, all right? So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go up into here, into the Home tab, into where it says Paste here, click the bottom button here, and that will give me the same as what I had when I right-clicked out there within the slide. But I have another choice here called Paste Special. That's the key. So you click onto that, and you tell it that you want to do a paste link. In other words, we want to link it. That kind of minimizes the number of choices here, but what we probably want to do is go with this one right here, which is the workbook object. So we do that, we hit OK, and there we go. So it comes in pretty much like we saw the original one there. So we can still go into here, kind of move it around here, resize it if you wanted to, and all that, okay? Now, the beauty of this one is that if I go into my worksheet here, so I'm just going to kind of bring this over here so you can see this better. If I go to my worksheet and I later on make a change, let's say I change this number right here, okay? Now that would be obviously this one here. So I go here and I change this, let's say to 9999, right? And I enter that in, then you'll see it automatically, obviously, update over here, and that all updates as well, you know, for the totals and all that. So that's a great, great tool. So just think about this. You put together a presentation that has a lot of spreadsheet or worksheet data in it. So let's just say you got 50 different slides, and let's say 30 of them are, 10 different worksheets with different parts of them copied and linked to your slides. So instead of having, right before the meeting and before the presentation, having to go to every one of those slides and make changes, you can actually go and make the changes in the worksheets in Excel. And as you're making the changes there, they're going to be automatically updating here. You don't have to have this open while you're making the changes in Excel. So it's very, very cool stuff there. Okay, I want you to keep in mind one thing, okay, and it comes to presenting, all right? If you have this worksheet, okay, on your system, on your computer, all right, and, or let's just say it's in the cloud or whatever. It's on your computer though, all right? And you, later on, you know, you've got this saved, you know, on your system, but you decide that you want to take this file and maybe attach it to an email and send it to somebody else. I guess send it to somebody else via email, and they're not on your system or anything. It's just a complete stranger, basically, okay, to your company system. When they go to make the presentation, because the data is kind of linked in a way to this slide, all right, and they don't have access on their machine to your file here, all right, what's going to end up happening is that it's not going to be linked, and therefore you're going to get kind of a blank slide here, okay? So I will tell you this, the way that you'd want to do this is that you can put this file, okay, in the cloud, okay, where on your cloud system, on your cloud storage, and then send this person, you know, at the other end, a link to that. And I've talked about how to do the linking in previous videos, but you can link the file to them, right? Share it with them. This one right here, you just do a share. So if you were to do this, if you were to click onto here, right? And I don't have this on OneDrive right now, but if I did have this on my OneDrive, you know, disk drive, you know, storage area, then I would get a different prompt here. Let me just do something real quick here. Let me go ahead. I'm going to save this to the cloud. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click on my save here. Okay. Now it's being saved with my PC. So what I'm going to do a save as. So I'm going to do an F12 here. Okay. And I'm going to save this not as a template, but as just a regular file here. So let me just go ahead and PowerPoint presentation here. And I'm going to save it to my OneDrive. There it goes. I'm just going to save it right to the root area here. And I'll just hit save. All right. And I'll just say sure. Okay. So now what happens, you'll see this in a second here, this thing comes on, the auto save, and when you see that on like that, that's giving you a clue that you've got this file saved to your cloud account, to your disk drive, to your storage area, right? So then, okay, so now here we go again. So you put this all together, and now you want to give it to somebody outside of where you're at, so that they can present it, let's say, right? So all you'd have to do is you click on a share. You go and you click on it here and you type in something like, I'm just going to do one of mine here. So like student A, or we'll do student P here. So I'll give it to student P, all right? And then all I have to do is hit send, and that's it. Now what's going to happen is they're going to get an email, and right there on the email is a link that they can click onto, and that will then take them to the file, and they can present it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. Also, too, when they go onto their PowerPoint program, and they go, let me just show you here, and they go into a file open, all right? They can go to something here called shared with me. And when they do the shared with me, it'll have all of the files that have been shared with that person, including the one that you just shared with them, say, and they would just click onto it, open it up, and do whatever they need to do with it. So didn't mean to spend so much time explaining that, but that's a thought. If you're not going to be using your same machine that you put the presentation together with on, that's stored on, you're not using that to present with, then that's something that you might want to think about doing. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching, and we got a lot more to come up here, so to work with, to present to you. So take a look at them. Appreciate it. Take care.